I'm Debra Lee Baldwin, author of several books about designing with succulents, including succulent container gardens. I'm going to show you how to create an eye-catching Echeveria garden in multiple pots. My own potted Echeveria garden enhances the view from my dining room. Echeverias grow well in containers, and doing so gives you better control over their cultivation requirements, like water, soil, and sun. They have to get the right amount of sunlight for best form and color. They'll elongate and fade if they don't get enough, but if they get too much, they'll sunburn. I elevated some of the pots atop metal plant stands to give them greater prominence and enhance air circulation. They help keep a wood deck from rotting, which happened to ours. Someone kept potted plants on it, I don't know who. We've since replaced the original deck with a synthetic that is impervious to water. Aesthetically, Echeverias suggest fleshy flowers, so I planted them densely for the look of a lush flower bed. I unified my Echeveria garden by using similar pots, but as I'll explain, they're not exactly what they appear to be. This is what it looked like when I planted it a year ago with treasures from Altman Plants, Oasis Water Efficient Gardens, Waterwise Botanicals, Mountain Crest Gardens, and Wright Nursery. Some of these are Dick Wright hybrids. I filled in with succulents that are closely related to Echeverias, such as Graptosedums, Pachyphytums, Graptopetalums, and Graptovarias. Today, for their photo shoot, I went around and groomed them. I got most of the dry leaves off. It just tidies the plant. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. It actually gives some protection from sun and cold in the wintertime. You look underneath, you just gently pull off those lower leaves. Now look what I've gone and done. I removed some of the farina from those leaves. This powdery whiteness does come off if you touch it. Now don't be all horrified, because it will grow back, if you can call that growing, but it will regenerate over time. And I even got it on my hands. It comes off. People have asked me, should they be worried about that powder? Is it some kind of a disease? No, that's just one of the plant's protections against sunburn. During winters here in Southern California, I move my Echeverias closer to the railing to get more sunlight. And when the rains come, the plants also benefit from nitrogen-rich rainwater. They'll lean toward greatest sunlight. It's a good idea to turn pots 90 degrees every few months, so Echeverias will grow upright. This is an east-facing deck, a south corner, and in the summers here, this eastern exposure can really scorch plants. If temperatures rise into the 80s or higher after I've recently rotated the pots, and if there's no morning cloud cover, I throw shade cloth over them during the hours of full hot sun, or even move them back into more shade. Sunburn destroys tissues, not to mention sunburned leaves can look awful for a long time. I used lightweight pots. These are plastic pots that I got at Lowe's. I want to be able to move things myself and lift them. I also made the pots lighter by adding tightly capped plastic bottles to the lower half of each pot. You can find on my website about potting soil and making pots more lightweight, and on my YouTube channel. There are no special tips or tricks when it comes to planting Echeverias other than trying to avoid snapping the leaves off. But if you're uncertain how to go about it, be sure to watch my YouTube video, How to Plant a Pot of Colorful Succulents. In it, I use Echeverias and other rosette succulents from nursery pots or cuttings to make a lavish, floral-style potted garden. Find 150 varieties of Echeveria, including most of the ones shown here in my potted collection, identified on my website's Echeveria page. So go to DebraLeeBaldwin.com, type Echeverias into the search bar. The Echeveria page, it's very extensive. It's all about the genus, cultivation requirements, anything you basically need to know about Echeverias. You can also find plenty of Echeveria information in my books. And in my YouTube channel's Echeveria playlist, I not only show lovely design projects, I have Dick Wright and other experts give tips on or demonstrate Echeveria cultivation, selection, propagation, and beheading. So be sure to click subscribe and like if you do. And please know I always welcome your comments and questions.